This sport is sponsored by Lowe's. We have all four MLB matchups going today. Let's get started here in about 8 minutes with the Mariners taking on the Tigers. The Brewers and the Cubs get going at 2:08. The Blue Jays and the Yankees will get going at 4:08 after the Yankees won last night with a big 6-1 deficit comeback that they had. And then the Dodgers will be looking to close out the Phillies at 6:08 tonight with Yamamoto on the mound against Aaron Nola. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt, and Trex Decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, the official partner of the NFL.
Oh, yeah, let's get it going on a Wednesday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. None of the series ended yesterday. I think we all thought one of them would, but ALDS, NLDS, everyone's still going. Like Sammy said in his update, everyone will be in play today. Aaron Judge with his signature moment last night as a New York Yankee. That was impressive as hell, man. Taking a ball up at his neck and throwing it off the foul pole out in left field. We got a busy one for you today. Our fantasy football expert, Stan Lazinski, is going to be jumping on at 1:30. So if you have any start-sit questions in the world of fantasy football for a very tightly contested week 6, get them in 70470. Start your message with team. We will ask all of them to Big Stan coming up at 1:30 today. We got some tickets to give away as well. How Low Scream at SeaWorld is back. We got 4 packs of tickets to give away. Tickets are at SeaWorld.com/San Diego, or just keep on listening for your chance to win. And then a pair of tickets to A Day to Remember with Yellow Card on October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info on that one at Ticketmaster.com. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We're with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Sammy, how was your evening last night? Did you get to take in any of that Yankees game?
Yeah, I watched most of that game. That was crazy, man. I mean, to go from them losing by 5
Dead in the water.
I mean, dead in the water, and the Blue Jays had destroyed him in the first 2 games, to seeing, like you mentioned, Aaron Judge getting his signature moment. Jazz Chisholm, the guy that was out for game 1 against the Red Sox in the wild card last week, that was hotly contested in New York, that Boone sat him, and then him to hit the home run. That was a cold bat flip where he just dropped it. Like, all these MLB series, it's cool seeing the Yankees still alive. I think that series, if you're the Blue Jays, you're sitting there going, how did we lose that game? The MLB's been fun this week. I'm excited for the rest of these matchups today.
What are the chances Major League Baseball installed a fan out in left field that was pushing back towards the outfield grass out there? And when Aaron Judge hit that ball, the fan turned on automatically so that they would push it just far enough back in play so it would hit the foul pole.
Rob Manfred was the happiest man outside of New York who hit that
Rob
ball.
Manfred's out there going, please go back fair. That was a crazy moment, man. And it is cool. Like, obviously, here in San Diego, we don't have a baseball team to root for in the postseason anymore, unless you are a transplant and you're a fan of one of these other teams. I happen to know a lot of Yankees fans who live in San Diego. And it was a cool moment last night that when your Herculean player that you have, the guy who you expect to come through in those huge moments, comes through. I think it's part of what makes sports great, man. And Aaron Judge had that moment last night. Now, the adoration and the insane, what's the word that your generation, Sammy, uses? I believe glazing. Aaron Judge has gotten from the national media today, I could probably live without.
Did you see Stephen A this morning?
Yeah, how about Derek Jeter jumping on every talk show in America going like, if there's one person in Major League Baseball who could hit that home run, it's Aaron Judge. That stuff's a little over the top to me. But what's Stephen A have to say?
Stephen A was just all over it. He was talking about how if they get game 4, he's like, we're bringing it back for New York, baby. I mean, it was just too much. It was like that. Then New York fans, when they win a game, remember when the Knicks won one playoff game against Trae Young a few years ago, and there's like a parade, they're burning the city down. I mean, just New York fans, nothing like them.
Well, it's crazy how many New York Yankees fans there are in the national media. All of a sudden, everybody's just, oh, dude, I bleed pinstripes. Always have, ever since I was a little baby. All of a sudden today, lots of Yankees fans.
Oh, yeah. If you can see with the national media, this anytime the Celtics, the Patriots, the kind of the Bills to an extent, the Yankees, anyone in that northern quadrant, the second they're the hint of any good, I mean, they're winning everything.
So we'll see what happens today. Seattle taking on Detroit. A cool moment in the last Seattle Mariners game when the guy in the outfield who was wearing Big Dumper hit 61 here or something. He catches the home run ball. Pretty cool moment. Seattle, Detroit, that's at 12:08. The Brewers, who have a stranglehold right now over the Chicago Cubs, still can't believe anyone can get a hit off the Cubs. It's mystifying. They're up 2-0 on the series. That game gets going at 2:08 from Wrigley. Toronto, New York, game 4 is going to be tonight in New York, 4:08, and then Dodgers and Phillies. Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. The game's in LA. They won the 2 in Philly. That game is going to be at 6:08 tonight. So big day of baseball coming up. And actually that nighttime game, which I like what Major League Baseball postseason has done. A lot of these games you can watch on HBO, which when you have a guy who comes over to babysit your dog once and just leaves his HBO logged in, you have it forever. It's amazing.
I regret turning on The Sopranos one time while I was watching Brock, and now I will forever not get my HBO account back.
Dude, please just leave it for another week. I got to see how this season of Peacemaker finishes up. After that,
I'm halfway through that.
It's so good. Peacemaker's fantastic. Like John Cena has found his role.
He's like fantastic transitioning to being. He's funny. He can do like dramatic stuff. That's a great show.
I think he's knocking it out of the park. The stuff in the last episode with the brother was amazing. John Cena, well done. Let's get to the big 3. We got a huge preview of NFL Week 6 coming up. Sammy and I are butting heads a little bit over our circa pick for this week. Getting a little nervous, if I'm being honest. My knees are shaking a little bit. I think it was because of the bloodletting that we saw last week. But as of right now, Sammy's going to take us through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
If you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do it: on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy. Sammy, I know for a fact we will not get it in the rest of the show. So do you want to tell everyone what happened in hockey last night real quick?
Just big day. The Rangers got killed. The LA Kings got killed last night. The Florida Panthers, big win over the Chicago Blackhawks. So the Blackhawks did look better. But unfortunately for long shots, our 2 baseball picks hit. Connor Bedard did not come through for us. So NHL off to an auspicious start.
I was playing a game earlier today, Sammy. I was walking around the building and saying, hey, do you want to play a game of Did You Know? And people would say, sure. I said, did you know what major professional sports league started last night? And all of them, huh? Poor hockey. I like hockey.
I would love the NHL, man.
It's cool. I just it kind of misses a lot of people. All right, Sammy, where are we starting with the big 3?
All right, we're going to go to the NFL, because where would we start? So Joe Flacco, as he was traded yesterday from the Browns to the Bengals, he has now been told he is starting. So he will be starting Green Bay on Sunday in Lambeau, going back to what Fletch said a minute ago. So I want to pick Green Bay for the Circa Survivor pick. If you don't know, we're in a Survivor League. We have to pick one team each week and move on.
$1,000 entry. If we win this thing, we're millionaires. It's that easy.
$18 million. It's just a quick little $18 million. So Jake Browning to the bench. Fletch, do you feel better or worse about the pick if we go with Green Bay now that Joe Flacco is there over Jake Browning?
I feel worse, but I'll explain why I'm not all the way out on it. Joe Flacco is showing up in Cincinnati today, you would assume. He got traded yesterday. Maybe he gets on a private jet yesterday and is on his way. Maybe. But say he gets there and today's his first day of install. That means he has essentially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's got 5 days, really 4.5, to learn a new language, because that's what offensive playbooks are in the NFL. I was talking to Rich Ornberger about this earlier today, and I said, how hard is that? And he's like, well, Joe Flacco, veteran, played a ton of football. He knows everything there is to know. It's just the words to communicate now with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins instead of Jerry Jeudy. Like, he needs to understand the new kind of verbiage and the cadence at which the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be running at. But what's going to be trickiest for him is the fact that he hasn't had a guy like Jamar Chase to catch the football for him in a long time, where the rhythm of the offense and how fast Jamar Chase is out of cuts and how fast T. Higgins is getting down the field, like Joe Burrow, you could see him underthrowing a lot of balls this weekend. So all that being said, I feel okay about the Packers pick, not great about the Packers pick, because Joe Flacco can surprise you. He's done that plenty of times in his life.
I think Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Jake Browning.
This isn't lateral.
No, it's not lateral.
It's a slight incline.
It's a slight incline. Now, if they would have traded for Jameis Winston, I would be with you, Fletch. I would go, I don't know about that, because Winston can light this thing up. If they had Mac Jones, hell, even Russell Wilson, even though I think Russell Wilson is washed, is better. Joe Flacco is a slight increase from Jake Browning, because Jake Browning looks scared in the pocket. Joe Flacco's not going to be scared in the pocket. He's a veteran quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been on a countless different teams.
He might be a little scared with this O-line in Cincinnati.
That's where I'm going. The offensive line played a little bit better last week against Detroit, but they're not very good. I get it. There might be a little bit of juice in the offense in terms of that there's a new quarterback, new signal caller here. But I hear people going, well, he beat the Packers.
That's
3 weeks ago.
What I was gonna say, Packers are 2-1-1. Who was that 1L?
But that was primarily because of the defense. The defense kept that game. They had 10 points in the fourth quarter. And then they got a turnover late at midfield. Like, that really wasn't on Joe Flacco performing great. That was really about the defense. I think the defense, having seen him 3 weeks ago, is actually a little bit of a bonus in this case. I think Joe Flacco, this might be a little bit overrated. I think they'll be better in a couple weeks when they kind of get the offense in tune. But personally, Green Bay coming off a bye week, having tied the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, you're past the whole Micah Parsons back in Dallas emotional aspect of this. I think it's a pretty safe pick for Circus Survivor. All right, let's go to the MLB. We kind of touched on this at the beginning of the show. Yankees trail 6-1 last night to the Blue Jays. Storm back on home run. Jazz Chisholm hits a solo shot to give them the win, 7-6. Did Judge rewrite the narrative of being a bad postseason player with his 3-run homer last night?
So it depends on what happens today, doesn't it? We had this exact same conversation about one Manny Machado after he hit the game-winning home run in Game 2 against the Chicago Cubs. I think this might have been a big three question the day after that, Sammy, where you said, did Manny Machado rewrite a little bit of his narrative? And the answer is going to be the same. It depends on what happens today with the Yankees. Is Aaron Judge able to lead them from a 0-2 hole to winning the series and advancing to the ALCS? Because then, yes, the answer is absolutely. He's rewritten everything about it. It would be the same as if Lamar Jackson was in an AFC championship game and he got the Ravens over the hump. But until you do something, until you win a series, that's what counts in the postseason. It's not individual games. It's if Aaron Judge is the leader, is the MVP of the ALDS for the Yankees this time, that's how you rewrite the narrative.
I think this was big for him, even though I agree with you in the sense of that, yes, if they go get blown out tonight and you're going, okay, well, they just won one game at home, whatever, you're going to look back on this.
And say he goes 0 for it. This is exactly the conversation we had about Manny Machado.
100%. So, yes, I totally agree with that. I think it's cool to see Aaron Judge come up big in a big moment when they're trailing in an elimination game, in the sense of last year in the World Series, he was really bad. And the one game he was good, he had a home run in Game 5 against the Dodgers, but then he was the catalyst for the whole Dodgers comeback when he drops the fly ball at midfield. And in that inning, which is historic, where the Dodgers end up tying the game on 3 errors, which was crazy that the Yankees allowed that. It was a fun atmosphere. It was fun seeing the biggest stars show up because Vlad Guerrero Jr. has been excellent in this series. I believe he has 3 home runs in 3 games, something like that. And to see him show up, I think it's interesting how the pressure now is back on the Blue Jays. The Yankees are kind of in a weird way for an organization that always has pressure, went from down 0-2, playing with all this pressure, to you're getting blown out in the game. You come back and Toronto's sitting there going, we let that one slip away. They're going with a bullpen game today. A bullpen game in New York. It kind of feels like you're almost punting on the game, trying to get it back to Toronto. That's a little bit tricky for me. I wouldn't be doing that if I was the Blue Jays.
Who's been your favorite team to watch so far in the postseason? Like in terms of just I think it's been the Yankees for me.
The Yankees have been fun. I think the Mariners have been a fun story. Like watching the Mariners, it's cool seeing that team who has never really won. They kind of have had a feel of how the Padres have such a big fan base and it's a real home field environment. Watching the games in Seattle over the weekend, that was a cool, like they lost Game 1. You're going, oh, this thing's done because Skubal's on the mound for Game 2. Then they win Game 2. There's a lot of pressure on this game that's happening right now because if it goes back to Saturday, Skubal's back on the mound. So that series has been really fun. I think I'd go Seattle.
That's a good one. Brewers are fun to watch, man.
Brewers
just hit the ball all the time.
I can't believe they're pummeling the Cubs like this.
It's not power either. They're just hitting a bunch of line drives, which I didn't think was possible against the Chicago Cubs.
Let's go to Philly. So Jalen Hurts, Fletch, I don't know if you heard this. Players only meeting in Philadelphia, despite being 4-1, having lost to the Denver Broncos. Jalen Hurts says yesterday at a presser, says, quote, we're getting there. We're 1 for all and all for 1 on this thing. To read off some stats, Philly is 30th in total yards per game, 31st in pass yards, and 25th in rush yards. Do you believe Jalen Hurts, the offense, will get it figured out?
You know what I love about players only meetings? When we all hear about them.
Yeah.
Like if it was a true players only meeting, keep it that way. It's great, man. I think it can do a lot for you in the middle of a season when something doesn't go your way, which clearly last week did not go the Eagles' way. It's great to get all the players together and have a serious heart-to-heart. But what's not great is if you make it as a show to appease a fan base who is clearly frustrated. They're frustrated in the way Philly looks on offense, right? It's a boring team to watch. So Philadelphia fans are like, what the hell's going on here? I thought this was the Super Bowl champs. I thought they were coming back to be dominant.
And with stars everywhere on the offense.
Right. And you're not using the stars. Saquon Barkley is at his lowest rushing total at this point into his career ever outside of injury seasons. So you look at the Eagles, and it is a boring team, and they got to sell something to the fan base. That's the players' meeting.
I saw Colin Coward earlier brought up a funny point about he listed all the teams that have done players-only meetings recently. Miami didn't work out so well. The Philadelphia 76ers last year. I mean, he went through them all, and it really hasn't been too good. It is interesting, though, that a team that's 4-1 and is winning. So to give them credit for all the criticism that Philly is taking, which I think is rightfully is true because they haven't looked very good, they are winning, and they've beaten some good teams in the process. I think this comes down to Nick Sirianni, and this is why I'd give him props. He obviously worked my Chiefs over in the Super Bowl, but this is where the leadership comes into play. Like, why are you listening to the outside media tell you who you are? At first, all you're doing is running the ball, tush pushing. Then you get criticism off that. Then you try to prove to everyone when you're up 14 points in the fourth quarter against the Denver Broncos, an offense up to that point that hadn't really been clicking, and you decide to throw the ball all over the yard, giving Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown all the touches. Saquon Barkley gets 6. They need to decide if they're a running team or a passing team, and it's something that's out of the offense that was there last year. I had never seen a rushing offense that was a home run hitting offense like I did last year. I mean, they were having 80-yard rushes every week. Like, this was becoming a thing where it was almost scarier when the Eagles ran the ball than when they passed the ball. They need to get back to their identity and probably stop listening to the media telling them what they should and shouldn't do. And I guess it comes down to the stars not complaining, because A.J. Brown has certainly made it clear he's not happy with the amount of targets he's getting.
All right, I got our guy Tyler is already on the chat saying, good afternoon, gents. What's up, Tyler? I'm going to make an executive decision real quick. Tyler, you are responsible for one of 4 long shots picks today. I want your biggest lock, and that's going to come back around at 12:45. All right, Tyler, you hear me? Give us a lock. San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. To the NFL we go coming up next. Lots of storylines kind of bubbling under the surface of Week 6. Let's get to them. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You could call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about a teacher who you were able to get some crazy deal on. I think it was like $40,000. What were you able to do for her?
Well, there was a grant program that's available to all teachers in the Poway School District, and I believe it's also for the San Diego School District as well. So it's a $40,000 grant. You don't pay it back. You qualify for it. It's really, really simple, and it's for first-time home buyers. $40,000 you can buy anywhere in San Diego. There's no restrictions to it. And yes, my clients, Kevin and Carla, just went into escrow last Friday, using the $40,000 down as their down payment. They're using an FHA loan, and they're officially in escrow, and they're expected to close on the 3rd of November. But so far, it's been a really, really smooth transaction with that down payment assistance. So if you're a teacher, if you know somebody it is, spread the word. I can help you get approved for it.
Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Tell him Fletch sent you. San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 to 6. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 to put $1,000 in your hand to go fund yourself. San Diego is coming up at 1:00 today. All right. We got an NFL story about Shedeur Sanders that is head scratching at the very least that we're going to get to here in a couple minutes. I did want to just read this off real quick, Sammy. Couple of Twitter accounts, they do projections based on what will be the survivor pool picks for the week. And now Sammy and I are in a $1,000 one that's going to pay us out $1 million. It's just a matter of time. 44% of Circa Survivor is expected to be on Green Bay, 12% on the Rams, 7% on the Eagles tomorrow night, 7% on the Raiders, 6% on the Commanders against the Bears, and 6% of this on the Steelers, who are playing against the Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh.
I hate the Commanders pick against the Bears.
Sure.
Monday night.
Is it in Washington?
It's in Washington, but here's the thing. The Bears season went down the drain off the Hail Mary last year. And if you Jaden Daniels, rightfully so, has been the the best pick out of that draft so far. He's won 2 playoff games. But Caleb Williams, them are probably if Caleb's ever going to be fired up for a game, it's going to be Monday night against the guy that everyone says should have went number 1 overall for him.
And it's prime time, so we usually stay away from that regardless.
I know you mentioned the Steelers over the Browns. That makes me nervous because the Browns offense looked actually competent last week with Dylan Gabriel at it.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
The reason why is because Mike Tomlin off a bye is damn near perfect. He's got like Andy Reid numbers coming off a bye. And Pittsburgh's defense is going to turn Dylan Gabriel over 5 or 6 times. I'm fine going Packers or Steelers. I think Steelers, if we were to take them, we're playing a little bit more of the long game, but I would also rather be safe this week, understanding the bloodshed that happened last week.
I just think because we haven't picked a high leverage team yet.
The Packers would be them.
So I think we've earned the right to pick one on a week that I don't see a lot of other games. Even the Eagles taking on the Giants in New York.
I could see the Giants pulling an upset.
Like if you're looking at criteria, there's a lot of other times to take the Eagles that would be much better. You're talking about division game. New quarterback. I know they weren't very good last week against the Saints, but they did beat the Chargers 2 weeks ago on the road. Like there's a lot better spots to take Philly than that.
I would agree.
So I just,
now Green Bay has Carolina at home in 2 weeks.
Well, we got to look that week if there's a game that we like there.
Just say week 8, Green Bay hosting the Carolina Panthers. That feels like a pretty.
I feel like everyone's going to be on New England to beat the Saints in New Orleans
this week.
After what we saw Sunday Night Football, which could be a little bit of a trap, even though they're way better. But you come off an emotional high of beating your rival, the team that's tortured you ever since Brady left, and then you got to go play a New Orleans team that does have a little momentum, beating the Giants. I'm like, that makes me a little nervous picking that game.
The rat attack is going to come get you. I got flamed on the text line yesterday by one person about 6 or 7 times because I talked smack about Spencer Rattler. I apologize.
We have a massive Saints fan that listens every day.
Spencer Rattler is very good. Ooh, I think he has a lot of talent. Spencer Rattler, you should be my fantasy football quarterback.
Yeah. There's a lot of Spencer Rattler love on our text line for some weird reason.
Can't believe it. I really can't. All right. Shedeur Sanders is still not QB2. Joe Flacco gets shipped out of town. Dylan Gabriel becomes the starter. And the coaching staff over in Cleveland still will not give Shedeur Sanders QB2. In fact, it's Zappy hour out in Cleveland. Bailey Zappi is about to be named quarterback 2.
Well, they haven't named him yet. He said we're going to wait this week and see.
About to be.
This is crazy to me. I know we're running up against it. We can get into this on the other side. But this is like, this is almost disrespectful to Shedeur Sanders at this point because you drafted the guy in the 5th round. And you did what you had to do. You started Joe Flacco. You started Dylan Gabriel, who you took before him, over him. And now it's like, I know Shedeur Sanders had a lot of baggage come with him the last week, him not talking at the presser. He's got the speeding ticket, all this stuff going on. But why did you take him if you weren't even going to let him play? Like Bailey Zappi, you're going to promote a guy over the practice squad to jump this guy? Last week, you demoted Joe Flacco to QB2 because in case Dylan Gabriel got hurt, you didn't want to throw Shedeur Sanders in there on a short week. Now this feels like after Joe Flacco's gone, this is like a vendetta against Shedeur Sanders. And if this is the Browns being petty, with all due respect to Cleveland, I don't know what the Browns have to feel petty about. Like if they were smart, if this guy came in the game, you would flip him for a pick. You'd be calling Baltimore, who a team that wanted to have him in the pre-draft process and trying to bait him on a trade. But you're just burying this guy on the depth chart. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Shedeur Sanders. I know Damian Lillard is out there calling for him to get traded to the Raiders. Maybe that's what happens. But this is a little crazy time for me. And I'm wondering what Shedeur Sanders is like behind closed doors, because there has to be something we don't know on top of all the stuff that we already do know. It's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. Coming up on the other side, your chance to win some tickets if you want to go see A Day to Remember alongside Yellow Card at Gallagher Square coming up later this month. Get your text in 70470. Start your message with team. Any start, sit, fantasy football questions. Our expert is coming up at 1:30 today to answer anything you have. Like perhaps Spencer Rattler should be starting for your fantasy team this weekend. Let us know on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, and per head coach Zach Taylor, he will be starting Sunday in Green Bay over Jake Browning, who has been the quarterback ever since Joe Burrow got hurt. In the MLB right now, Seattle and Detroit, Game 4. It is currently Seattle leads the series 2-1. It is currently the top of the second, and it is 0-0. What looks like Seattle just scored. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the latest fall looks, all for under $30. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
Coming up in just a couple minutes here, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets for you to go see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card on October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info, Ticketmaster.com. Keep listening for your chance to win. We will give those away right around 12:40 today. Long shots coming up in 15 minutes. Sammy's going to try to make us all some money. Tyler, you're in on this one too. So long shots, 12:45. Sammy's going to make us a daily fantasy sports lineup. I did want to mention a story coming out of Stanford before we get back to the NFL for a second. Have you seen this? Andrew Luck is the general manager of Stanford football now. And so he's been going knocking on doors and kissing babies, trying to get some NIL donations. He scored one. $50 million Stanford is getting from a former player who played, his name's Bradford M. Freeman.
1962.
1964 was his final year with the program. That's when he graduated. But Bradford M. Freeman just donated $50 million trying to get Stanford football back. I didn't even know, but Frank Reich is the head coach at Stanford right now.
Yeah, Stanford football, you talk about.
They're 2-3, by the way.
Well, it's crazy. They're falling from grace. Like David Shaw had that program every year when they had McCaffrey. I mean, they Luck to them, the McCaffrey years. I remember they destroyed USC in the Rose Bowl one time, 52-24. I mean, the program, Stanford was really one of the elite programs on the West Coast. And then the last couple of years of Shaw, and then they just completely fell off a cliff. So it is funny when you're getting these donations. Like, so they got the $50 million to Stanford. We'll see if that's enough to go get them some big recruits. Obviously, USC is the number one recruiting class next year. They've been putting out a lot of NIL money. The number 2 recruiting class next year is Texas Tech. And you'd be like, what? Texas Tech is above all these teams? They have some crazy donor who's super rich who has dumped a ton of money like that into the program. And now Texas Tech is like kind of buying all these recruits. So Texas Tech football next year is supposed to be like one of the more dominant teams in Texas, which seems crazy considering Texas Tech has always kind of been the ugly stepchild in Texas. But like, it is crazy how these schools that have the big boosters, like you can turn around a program immediately.
Here's what we're going to do, Sammy. I just did some Googling. I found a list of the wealthiest people to ever graduate San Diego State, and we're going to send Sammy dressed in a tuxedo. I'm thinking like the Step Brothers tuxedo, so you got to have the cummerbund.
We're here to mess us up.
Yes, we are. And you're going to go start knocking on some doors. We need to find some addresses, but Joe E. Kiani, we're finding you. James Senegal, who is the co-founder of Costco, graduated from San Diego State. I don't know how many of these people are still alive, but hopefully all of them. Soul
When
Price,
did Costco start?
Russell, the founder of Rockstar Energy, went to San Diego State.
That makes sense.
Let's start knocking on some doors, Sammy. We're going to get a $50 million donation.
We would knock on Kawhi's door, but the problem is I think he's going to have to be broke after the lawsuits.
Yeah, we need to find one of these people. Lucky Store CEO, Donley Richie. His name is Richie. He's got to be loaded.
I mean, this is the thing with college football now and college basketball. It's
one
like
person can change everything.
Because if you talk about you can't anymore, this is not based on recruiting. Like not that the small schools ever had a shot to out recruit your Ohio States, your Texas, your Notre Dame, your schools like that. But if you get some crazy rich dude that wants to come in and donate, like a team like, as I was mentioning, Texas Tech is going to be on the map next year and probably going to be ranked in the top 10. And that would have never happened. It's a money game. Now look at Bryce Underwood at Michigan. $10.5 million before this kid even took a snap of football.
How's that working out?
Well, they're pretty good, but they're rolling up into the Coliseum to take on SC this week.
Joe E. Kiani, we're coming for you. We're sending Sammy in a tux. He's gonna have a briefcase.
Are these just like 90 or what?
He's just no. This guy was on the Forbes billionaire list 2 years ago, so I would imagine he's still doing okay. Hopefully.
Did I just be like up in a little palace somewhere?
Yeah, you're just going to knock on the door with a briefcase. You're going to knock. You're going to say, hi, my name is Sammy Long. You're going to open the briefcase and he's going to know what to do. And then you're going to take that briefcase and we'll go together to JD Wicker's office in the Fowler Athletics
Let me tell you
Center.
something. If I donated $50 million to a program and they did not win the national championship that year, I would literally ask for my money back.
Sounds good, Sammy. You're in control of everything. All right, let's talk about it because the text line blew up when we were talking about our survivor pick for this week. And we mentioned the word Eagles as having a lot of people on them this week. We are not touching the Eagles. We stay away from primetime games, especially in division primetime games. So the text line said... I just started listening and I haven't even looked at this week's games, but I heard Eagles Giants. Are you kidding? Stay safe, boys. And then they also followed up with, but they had a meeting. Like the Eagles had a team meeting.
That game would make me nervous. Like you're talking about the Giants, a lot to prove. Let me look at what you saw with New England this past weekend. New England made a statement win over Buffalo. That was a New England being like, hey, we're a team on the rise, here to stay. We're not just because the Bills have just owned that division for years now because the other three teams have been horrible. Miami had a little moment there, but then kind of went off the rails. I mean, you're looking at the Giants like it is funny. Like we looked at that division at becoming of the year. It's like, oh, it's really the Eagles to lose, and then Washington. And considering the Eagles kind of struggles, the Cowboys have been surprisingly kind of good. The Giants, I don't think are contesting for the division, but
they're contesting to knock someone off.
And if Jackson Dart beats them at MetLife, I mean, you talk about putting him in a different stratosphere in terms of stardom. That's a 7.5 points for Philly on the road. I feel like I'm taking the Giants to cover that spread.
949 brings up an interesting point about Joe Flacco getting shipped off to the Cincinnati Bengals and will be starting this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. Says Baker took over for the Rams with less time and beat the Raiders.
But that was the Raiders.
We've seen it before, though. We've seen it before,
but Baker Mayfield, let's remember, was a number 1 overall pick. And at the time of that game, he was in his 20s.
Joe Flacco has won Super Bowls.
He's also one thing away from a retirement home.
Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback who might be in the Hall of Fame.
He's checking into a retirement home after this season. Okay?
I mean, not literally, but I get what you're saying. 39 is the new 29, Sammy. It's a different world we're living in.
949 Tampa over San Fran and Brock starts. If Max starts, then San Fran over Tampa.
All right, 949. You made a good point about Baker. I gave you your flowers, and now you're going to do that to me? You're seriously going to just turn around and stab me right in the back? What are we doing? Our Saints fan is on the text line saying, sarcastic or not, I still smile when you talk sexy about Rat Dog. Who dat, baby?
Rat Dog.
Rat Dog. Oh, yes. Hey, Spencer.
I want to ask the 858, our Saints fan, if he's excited for Arch Manning next year.
I don't think it'd get there.
Lenoris Sellers?
I don't. Saints aren't going to have the number 1 overall pick. They're too good. They're going to beat somebody else this year.
Who's going to have the number 1 overall pick?
Maybe a couple somebodies. I don't think it's going to be the Saints. The Saints are going to knock off a couple ones. It might be the Titans, who I don't think they'd take a quarterback.
Right, they're not taking a QB.
Or are they? It's a lot less time to prove yourself.
I think Ward is a good player. He has no one surrounding him. But to this Philly thing that we started on, if you weren't listening at the beginning of the show, basically they had a players only meeting. They're 30th in yards per game, 25th in rushing yards per game, 31st in pass yards per game. Jalen Hurts is basically they're going to figure it out. Do you believe this team? Do you believe that the first 5 weeks is them having a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, yet them still winning? Or do you think that there's a serious problem in Philadelphia?
I think both things can be true. Their offense looks completely out of sync. I think that the way Nick Sirianni coaches is not built for a team that has superstars at wide receiver. He is very much a possession control, run down the field and get wins and winning on the margins. He's very Mike Schultz, if we're being honest about it. Now he has this situation where he does have 2 highly paid, extremely talented wide receivers that he feels like he needs to use. He also has one of the highest paid running backs in his backfield who just put up a 2,000-yard season. So I think he's got a little bit of an embarrassment of riches, and none of it actually fits his game plan all that well, except for Saquon, who we can be honest about now through 5 weeks, maybe has lost a step, or maybe the offensive line has lost a step.
He's not getting him the ball, though.
Right, but even when he is, he's averaging very little yards per carry. So I agree. He's not getting it to him enough to prove that, because Saquon's one of those running backs that over the course of a game will continue to get better. But Saquon just hasn't looked like Saquon yet. So I think the Eagles, it's hard to say they have a problem at 4-1, but if Nick Sirianni continues to let outside voices impact his game plan, then it's going to continue to be a problem.
And Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback that is my receivers getting antsy and wants the ball. That's not how Jalen Hurts plays. Jalen Hurts is an excellent quarterback. He's arguing he's top 5. He's certainly top 10. He's won a Super Bowl and he's played big in big moments, but it is about the system. It's about, the tush push, whether you think it should be banned or not. It's about staying ahead of the running game. Jalen Hurts making plays with his legs and then hitting his guys at big moments. So it does feel like Nick Sirianni is a direct response to the media narrative. These guys can't catch the ball. They're not even giving them the opportunity. And then in the one situation against Denver, when you're up by 2 scores at home where you should run the ball, you don't do that. And I think the offensive line is probably not quite as good as it was before. And I think you could see a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover here in terms of they're finding ways to win. They're a lot like the Chiefs last year, where you looked at the Chiefs and you're like, do they really look that good at times? But they're still finding ways to win. But this is a big wake-up call, and at some point they got to decide their identity. Are they a rush first team? Are they a pass first team? Sirianni's got to have control of this locker room, because if you let outside voices, especially in Philly, because we know Philly radio is not very kind to the team, I think that could derail the season a little bit.
Hey, we should go out to Philly tomorrow and chat with somebody from there. Maybe I'll get my buddy Eitan on the show tomorrow. We got long shots coming up next. Right now, we have your opportunity to win a pair of tickets to go see Yellow Card alongside A Day to Remember at Gallagher Square at Petco Park. That is going to be October 23rd at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Caller number 7, you're winning those tickets at 877-767-4760. Seattle has taken a 1-0 lead over Detroit. We'll keep you updated on that. They're in the bottom of the second. If Seattle wins this one, they will advance to the ALCS and potentially be vying for their first World Series in franchise history. All that still to come on the show today. Our fantasy expert coming up at 1:30. Text us 70470. Start your message with team if you got fantasy football questions ahead of week 6. Big Stan Lazinski is going to be jumping on the show in just a little bit. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, and you're going to get $50 in lineups right after you play your first $5 lineup. We make decisions on a daily basis. We say, I would like more flour, please, or I would like less sugar, please. And guess what? On Prize Picks, those exact same decisions can get you paid, but you're picking more than or less than on player stat projections. You can make a lineup of 2 to 6 players. And if you go all 6 and you go with some red demons, you can win up to 2,000 times your cash on Prize Picks. Whoa! I've been playing on Prize Picks since November of 2023. It is my favorite app on my phone. It is a companion while I watch sports. It sits next to me on my couch while I'm eating nachos, while I'm watching the games. And the best part about Prize Picks, you can make your lineups in less than 60 seconds, get them submitted, and boom, you got action on Prize Picks. Again, use promo code Fletch. Get that $50 bonus in lineups right after you play your first $5 lineup. It is the best way to win cash on the baseball postseason, the college and pro football seasons. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks and get yourself paid. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And wouldn't you know it, coming up in about 5 minutes, we are going to give you a $5 lineup for you to play so you can claim that bonus. Download Prize Picks today, because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Dan the man winning some tickets to go see Yellow Card and A Day to Remember out at Gallagher Square.
Dan.
Shout out, Dan. Thank you for being here, pal. Appreciate you listening. If you didn't win those, but you want to go to SeaWorld, just keep listening for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to How Low Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. You can visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for more information, or just keep listening. We will give those away coming up in hour number 2. Also, in hour number 2 of the show today, our fantasy football expert Stan Lazinski is going to be joining us. He'll be answering some start-sit questions for Week 6. We already got a few coming up on the text line. Ooh, some interesting trade options here on the text line as well. We'll get to all those at 1:30 with Stan Lazinski. I'm getting sent
terrible trades in my fantasy football league right now, and it led to a real fight and rift among the friend group.
In one of my leagues, it's actually our work league, I've made a rule with myself, no trading, and trying to limit waiver wire ad drops outside of like injuries. And it's working out pretty well. Only got one loss so far in that league.
Yeah, well, Dom and I are actually undefeated in that league, and we tried to.
Have we played yet?
We have not played. Did we?
No, we have not.
Actually, that'll be a fun match.
We are 1-2 right now in that match. I've lost by a total of 0.05 points in that league. Dom and I tried to talk to Frankie V from 93.3 and bait him with some because he's a big New England Patriot fan. We're trying to bait him a little bit with some sucker trades, but Frankie V has not responded to us, unfortunately. So I was thinking about getting here early tomorrow morning and see if we can cook something up while he's live on air. Just go attack him or what?
No. I'm gonna maybe steal his phone, maybe walk in there, have Gina distract him or something, and then I'll grab it and we'll force a little trade because we need to upgrade the tight end position.
Brock Bowers. Some tight ends. You want one?
What's your tight end?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm also not trading in that league. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Every day around this time, we do a little something called long shots where Sammy builds us out a daily fantasy lineup. Great news about this. If your actual fantasy league is already toast, we give you something to root for on a daily basis. How about that? That's what we do here.
Exactly.
Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
Every time I hear that John Malkovich thing from Rounders, it just makes me want to go to the casino.
First off, Rounders is one of the great movies ever made.
I think it's the best poker movie. Like, people will argue the Kevin Spacey, the 21, which it's a good movie.
That's not better than Rounders.
No, it's not. And Rounders is a pure poker movie. Rounders is like the Fast and Furious of card games.
Matt Damon also said, he's like, that movie was a pop culture shift. Like, poker was not a thing that like was talked about. Like, everyone went to go play poker. Like, it was the kind of underground poker rooms that you get buzzed into. Like, that shed a light on everyone and changed poker parties forever.
Great flick. What do we got, Sammy?
All right, so Tyler's got a pick. We asked Tyler to do add us one he likes. Let me see over there. Vlad Guerrero Jr. over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. All right, so we're going to go with that one. Now, he's a little bit down on Cam Schlittler. I am high on Cam Schlittler. This is for the Yankees. We're going to go more than 5 pitch strikeouts for Cam Schlittler. Yes, I said the name right, Schlittler. He had 12 last time against the Red Sox. This guy's got a pretty crazy story, actually. Grew up as a diehard Red Sox fan, hating the Yankees. And this dude helped eliminate the Red Sox last week in the wild card. It's all coming down to him. I know there's going to be a short leash on him. This is the last game that the Yankees will be playing if they lose. But they had to go in the bullpen a little bit last night. Obviously, close game, close win, 7-6, coming back on the Blue Jays, 6-1. I know he had 12 last week, 12 strikeouts. And I get that they're probably thinking that people are going to bet the over, but 5 is way too low for me. Because if you're the Yankees, you can't just go to the pen super early in this game. I think Schlittler becomes the hero in New York. More than 5 pitcher strikeouts for him. Then we're going to the Dodger-Philly game. Kyle Schwarber and go with the Red Demon. More than 1.5 total bases for Schwarber. Schwarber's been awful in this series so far. I mean, this is the guy, we talk about Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis not showing up. Schwarber has not performed well. He has been missing pitches. He's been really slumping actually before the postseason. And he's got to get it together if the Phillies got any shot. Harper at least came through with a big hit at the end of the game on Saturday. Schwarber has been just ripping pitches. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I think he's going to be able to get a hit tonight. I think they might actually jump on the Dodgers early and try to put him to bed, but the Dodgers are kind of never out of it with the bats. I think Schwarber goes more than Red Demon, 1.5 total bases tonight. On the other side of the pitching matchup, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, this is actually a green goblin. We don't usually add green goblins in here, but because Prize Picks has figured out that this is a little bit of a cheat code, Dave Roberts doesn't pull his starters because he doesn't trust the bullpen. As evidenced by game 2, Dodgers up 4-0. They allow a run. Blake Trinan comes in the game in the 9th inning, gives up 2 runs with nobody out. Castellanos on second. They force a wheel play and actually get him at third, the Dodgers, but really lucky to get out of that game for the Dodgers with a victory. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the one guy they can trust. This is their third ace, more than 17.5 pitching outs with the Green Goblin. If they offer a Red Demon later in the day, I would jump on it because Dave just leaves his guys in there. Because the bullpen, as evidence, they cannot trust. Roki Sasaki is about the only guy at the closer spot that the Dodgers are comfortable with. So we're going to go more than 17.5 Green Goblin pitching outs. So to recap, we're going to go with Tyler, Vlad Guerrero Jr. over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
That one actually just got taken off the board. So Tyler's other pick was Satu Sabali, playing in the WNBA.
Okay, and over for that.
8 rebounds and assists.
Okay. All right. Tyler likes that one. Add that. Cam Schlittler, more than 5 pitches strikeouts for the Yankees. Kyle Schwarber, Red Demon, more than 1.5 total bases against Yamamoto and the Dodgers. And then Yamamoto, Green Goblin, more than 17.5 pitching outs. I think this Dodger-Philly game is a really tight one with some scoring tonight.
I like it.
I feel good about this lineup. It sucks that the Mariner game started early because we had some good picks for that, but
Trying to look if there's anything other they added for Vlad Guerrero Jr. because I feel like he is going to do something tonight, but that one got taken off the board.
I thought about Jazz Chisholm because Jazz Chisholm was a player after he had a home run last night. He's very streaky player. Like you talk about a big moment kind of guy, Judge and Chisholm. I think I like the Vladdy pick because you're looking at the Blue Jays and considering they're going with the bullpen game today, they're going to have to score a lot of runs.
Vlad also has a Red Demon for 1.5 total bases. So if you think he's going to hit a home run, that would be the one to smash. And I'm going to do it. We got a little bankroll. Sammy's had a good week. We're just going to go for it.
We're adding another Red Demon.
Well, I did. You don't have to. I just added Vlad Guerrero Jr. 1.5 total bases.
All right, here's the final lineup. Vlad Guerrero Jr., more than 1.5 total bases. Red Demon. Kyle Schwarber, more than 1.5 total bases. Red Demon. Cam Schlittler for the Yankees, more than 5 pitches strikeouts. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Green Goblin, more than 17.5 pitching out for the Dodgers tonight.
Definitely feels like a flex play to me. I don't know that we're going full power play.
Yeah, we're not going full power play with 2 Red Demons.
Yeah, probably not. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Hour 1 is in the book. We got SeaWorld tickets coming up in hour number 2. I know we got a text about that. 760. You guys giving away SeaWorld Halloween tickets. Guess what? Yes, we are. And there's no stigma around wearing the no boo necklace.
No, there is stigma. It's lame. It's like, don't take the tickets and go wear a no boo thing.
I would actually recommend it. So if you would like some Hallow Scream tickets at SeaWorld and experience the brand new speakeasies, all the new scare zones and haunts and thrills, and the Shrills After Dark roller coasters, just keep on listening. We'll give those away in hour 2.
760 says they got a date Saturday night and they want tickets.
We're going to try.
You got to be the right caller. We don't just pick who we're going to give it to.
It's going to be caller number 7 at a predetermined time that's coming up within the next hour of showtime.
You got to keep listening. If you're the 7th caller, I'll answer you, and then you can take your girl, and you can spend a lot of money on her.
I mean, I would say it's a safe bet to imagine that the time is probably going to be around, I don't know, what would you say, Sammy, 124-ish?
Yeah, something like that. Now, the one thing I would say advice, if you didn't hear the show earlier in the week, Ben went to SeaWorld for a no boo. No, not the sushi restaurant. No boo, N-O space B-O-O, so that they wouldn't scare you. If you're going on a date there Saturday night, I would, in front of your girl or whoever you're with, I would probably not wear the no boo sign. That probably isn't the best look. Just a little Sammy advice.
You know what's funny? You say this as if you're almost making fun of me. I feel no shame about this. It feels like one of the smarter decisions I've made. I don't need goblins or ghouls getting in my face.
Well, I just don't, again, I don't understand why you would go.
I rebuke that is what I do.
I know you're with your nieces, but like, why would you take them there in the first place if no one wants to be scared? Like
Sammy, if you got to spend an afternoon with my very, very, very sweet niece Tegan, you would understand exactly why we're wearing the no boos. Because one boo, night's over. Night's done for.
Do we need to take Rich, Travis, and Kat and us and go?
By the way, Rich Ornberger, are you kidding me? If there was ever a no boo necklace type of guy, it's Big Rich. That guy gets scared at everything.
He would be such an easy target because he's just ginormous.
And he can't watch scary movies.
Really?
Yeah, I'm watching the new Monsters show on Netflix, the Ed Gein story.
Yeah. Oh, that looked creepy, dude.
Dude, it is horrifying. And I was talking about it this morning over on KGB, and Rich was like, well, I know something I'll never watch.
I used to not like scary movies, and I really got into them about 4 years ago.
San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. We'll be right back with hour number 2. Fantasy football expert coming on the show at 1:30. Text your questions in 70470. Start your message with team. That's already loading up, so get them in fast or else we probably won't get to them. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Lowe's. Per Kevin Stefanski, despite the Browns trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals, Shador Sanders has not been named QB2 on the depth chart behind Dylan Gabriel. Says they will wait and see. It'll be between him and practice squad player Bailey Zappi. And the Mariners are up on the Tigers right now in the bottom of the third, 1-0. The rest of the day will bring the Brewers taking on the Cubs, looking to close out Chicago in Chicago. The Blue Jays are in New York trying to close out the Yankees, and the Dodgers will be at home taking on the Phillies with Yamamoto on the mound against Aaron Nola. That game gets going at 6:08. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt, and Trex decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, the official partner of the NFL.
San Diego Sports 760. It's hour number 2 here on the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. We got a long ways to go here on the show today. Stan Lazinski, our Dynasty fantasy football expert, is going to be joining us coming up at 1:30. You can find him on dynastypricecheck.com. He's also answering questions every single night on his TikTok, Dynasty Price Check, if you want to jump on the stream ever and ask away some questions. Stan Lazinski, he's the man, Sammy. I'm glad we found him when we found him.
Stan's the new superstar in San Diego, bro. Stan's the he's our guy.
He is local too. He actually lives in San Diego. So boom, take that. It is San Diego Sports 760. We got a long ways to go here. We got tickets to give away. That's right. SeaWorld tickets coming up in just about 20 minutes from right now. Now, the Broncos beat the Eagles last week, which was a huge game. And I think it was a signature win up to this point for Bo Nix and Sean Payton, the head coach of the Denver Broncos, to be able to take down the defending world champs and beat them in the fashion they did. Now, it wasn't a great game by Denver by any means. I would classify it more as a Philadelphia collapse, but Sean Payton grew up in Philadelphia. This game meant a lot to him. And so we found out over the last couple of days. I somehow missed this report by Peter Schrager. But Sammy, if you got it pulled up, let's run with it, because Peter Schrager just made Sean Payton seem like the coolest head coach in NFL history, perhaps. Let's take a listen.
90s. And I'll tell you this, they win that game Monday Night Football, and they don't practice Tuesday. They don't practice Wednesday. It was a very unorthodox week. They practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just 3 days of practice. They were blasting Meek Mill in that Philly locker room after the game. He wanted to make a statement and say, we're going to play your music in your building. And then on the way home, police escort usually just takes him right on the highway. He's talking to the driver of the bus, and he's telling them, hey, why don't we actually go down Broad Street and let them see the team bus come through the city again? They ended up just going to the original route. This one meant more. I think this was a career-defining and regime-defining moment for Sean Payton as, hey, I'm no longer just a Saints guy. I am a Broncos head coach, and we're doing it.
I kind of love the saltiness, if I'm being completely honest. Sean Payton, look, he's had one of those histories as a head coach where obviously Bounty Gate was a thing under Sean Payton's rule out there in New Orleans. But this level of saltiness going through downtown Philly right after you beat the Eagles, having the team bus blasting Meek Mill. I'm sure you had the windows opened up, just blasting it out, taking your rapper from your city, playing it on our team bus. I love it, Sammy.
I got to be honest. I don't know if for safety reasons I'd be blasting Meek Mill down Philly Ave and after you just beat him. But yeah, wow. I mean, hey, listen, they get to talk. They had a signature win against Philly. I'm curious with this Broncos team. Like, they're kind of hard to figure out because they like have a legit case to be 5-0 right now.
They're
like,
3-2 on the season. I feel better about them than I feel about the Chargers at this point. Don't you?
Well, the Chargers, I think, are a better team when healthy, but the problem is they're not healthy. The entire offensive line's hurt. Hampton's out. Najee Harris is out. The defense is having problems. Like, they jump on top of the center. They lose to the Colts. They should have won that one. If they hit Sutton down the sideline to the Chargers, they probably win that one. But then part of me goes, like, watching Bo Nix play, it's so odd. Like, he
misses a lot of throws.
He doesn't anticipate throws.
I feel like he's overthrown Cortland Sutton in big moments probably 4 times this year.
Like, I genuinely feel like they're a very solid team led by the defense. They're underrated defense. Nick Benito has been a pass rusher that has not gotten the national love that he has deserved for a while now. You got Hufanga, Greenlaw's coming back. You got Pat Surtain, one of the best corners in football. It's a very defensive-minded team. I just wonder at the end of the day if Denver has enough offensively to cause serious problems in the playoffs.
Now, in my mind, I'm fast forwarding to around this time on Friday, maybe 25 minutes after right now on Friday, when Steve Hartman jumps on the air and his opening lines are, "See, Sammy, I told you the Denver Broncos would win the AFC West. They just beat the Eagles, a team the Chiefs could not hold a candle to in the Super Bowl last year. And who did the Chiefs lose to? Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine from Remember the Titans." I'm
so excited to talk to Steve on Friday. Just can't wait for that conversation at 1:30.
Oh, Steve is going to rip it.
I have said this 1,000 times. Love Steve Hartman to death. Like, literally, he's like family. But again, he is the worst kind of sports fan because he doesn't have teams. He just watches to talk mess.
Well, he does have a team. He has the Raiders. The only problem is the Raiders
he
have
gave the
sucked
Raiders
for
up.
2 decades. He was on the Raiders staff.
I know, but he's not a Raider fan. Ask him if he's a Raider fan.
If the Raiders were good, are you telling me Steve Hartman wouldn't be the biggest Raiders fan? You're telling me he wouldn't be walking around town saying, I used to work for them. Me and Al Davis went way back.
It was 1976. I was a young man.
I essentially am the reason why Amy Trask rose to power with the Las Vegas or Oakland or Los Angeles Raiders.
What was his story about saying that he was a major influence on Slash and Guns N' Roses? Remember that one?
Oh, he's got all the stories.
They loved my band.
Exactly.
I influenced Appetite for Destruction, one of the greatest albums of all time.
Of course he did. You doubt it?
No.
It's Steve Hartman, man. Dude's a legend. All right, let's get to the big 3 of hour number 2 here. Again, get your fantasy football questions in. We are just about loaded up. We could squeeze a few in more for Stan coming up at 1:30. But this is where Sammy takes us around the world of sports, the top stories of the day. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
615 texting into the show. Damn, Fletch, you were spot on with those Hartman impersonations. Bravo, bravo.
Fletch was quick to read the one praising him.
Yeah, thank you, text line. I need that. Here's the thing. Steve Hartman and I worked together for a long time. I think if I've listened to more Steve Hartman than a lot of people, I think I can nail the Steve impression. And that is totally what he's going to say. It's going to be, hi, Steve. Sammy,
dude,
I told you.
By the way, to everyone, Steve is the exact same human being off air as he is on air.
The same person.
Like the same human being.
Sammy will talk to him for a couple minutes before Steve gets on air with us. And I promise you, Sammy's going to pick up the phone, dial the number, and Sammy's going to say, hi, Steve, how are you? Sammy?
I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him late on Friday. I'm going to do my update and call him like, we got to go on air. I can't talk.
The Jacksonville Jaguars? Are you serious? Sammy, where are we starting today?
I'm starting with your Niners, actually. So report just came out from Ian Rappaport, not practicing for the Niners. Listen to this list. Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Watkins, Collins, Gross, Matos, Beal, Trent Williams rest, and Christian McCaffrey rest. How are we feeling against the Baker-led Bucks? If Mac Jones gets a win over the Baker-led Bucks, is there a serious controversy in San Francisco about the quarterback situation?
There's already a controversy. Mac Jones has played great. I'm not shying away from the fact that there is a quarterback controversy, although I do believe Brock Purdy should get his chance to get his job back. Now, if you were to honestly look at the two guys, I don't know who's more healthy right now between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy.
He was limited as well.
We watched that game with Mac Jones on Thursday night. The dude was almost dead. He was almost puking on the sideline. When the camera went to him, when it looked like the Niners might be getting the ball back in overtime, it did not seem like somebody who was able to go back out there and play. So if you're looking at the two QBs right now as who's more healthy, the answer might be tossed up in the air. Now, my question, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, is if I have a 75% healthy Mac Jones and an 85% healthy Brock Purdy, I think I'd rather go with Mac Jones this week because I'm more willing to let him get more injured than I am to let Brock Purdy get more injured, which is kind of an effed up way to think about football.
Oh, wow.
That it has to come into consideration, doesn't it?
This is weird.
But I love the fact that they include Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey when every veteran around all of football is resting on a Wednesday.
They
find one that's actually practicing.
I'm torn on this because Mac Jones was a top pick. You know, I've heard for a long time from Fletch about Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback and he's really disrespected and all this stuff.
I don't think I've ever said he's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
But Brock Purdy, like
top 7, maybe.
Oh, wow. I mean, Mac Jones is putting this team on his back, doing a lot with very little. Brock Purdy, it's obviously going to be his job because they paid him. This whole QB controversy thing, there should be a QB controversy, but there's not going to be because it makes
there's a QB controversy
because the Niners look terrible if they can't get a quarterback right.
But Purdy's going to have his chance to get the job back. It's through no fault of Brock Purdy that Mac Jones is having the success. I'm sure Brock is as happy as anyone that he is.
It's Brock's job. They just paid him $1 gazillion. Like you draft, and also this is a bad look for John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan if Mac Jones does become the guy, because you're talking about Trey Lance, you draft that doesn't work out. You have Sam Darnold on your roster, you let him go because Brock Purdy's the answer. Brock Purdy gets you to Super Bowls, like I give him credit there, but then you pay Brock Purdy, and now all of a sudden Mac Jones is shining in an offense with a young player, a first round pick, a guy who won a national championship at Alabama.
Right, but you're saying it's a bad thing that the general manager and head coach are making it look this good with a backup quarterback.
No, I'm saying it's a bad look because you paid Brock Purdy.
You had no other choice.
Yes, you did.
You literally did. If you were to let Brock Purdy walk, the fan base turns on you the moment that happens.
You could have tagged him. You could have signed him to a short-term contract with front-loaded money.
It's quarterbacks in the NFL. That's just what it costs.
Brock Purdy got paid to be an elite passer in this game.
And by the way, they didn't give him some long-term huge contract. It's essentially a 3-year deal. Like I think that's
right,
still
but you can't
contract.
get rid of Brock Purdy after this year.
And by the way, even if they were to go back in time, they would still do that same contract because you have to because it's the quarterback.
So you're telling me because it's essentially a 3-year deal with 5 years, there's no QB controversy in San Fran.
There is a controversy. If Brock Purdy comes out and sucks when he comes back, I will be the first person to hold up the flag saying Mac Jones is the one who needs to be quarterback.
Right.
And by the way, that's the
what are the
decision
Niners
they'll
going to
make.
do then?
They will have to make that decision. They don't have a choice.
So you're going to pay Brock Purdy $50 million a year to sit on the bench.
Would you rather win or be wasting $50 million?
Well,
the answer should be
I tried
win.
to tell you before you signed in why you should not sign Brock Purdy, but every Niner fan would not listen to that, including John Lynch.
No one's listening to you anyway, Sammy, about decisions that are made at the front office level. Brock Purdy contract has not been proven to be a bad contract yet.
But you're sitting here telling me that there's a QB controversy because Mac Jones has played well. So you're telling me there's a shot.
When Brock Purdy, who's injured, comes back and plays terribly, there is a quarterback controversy. So it's brewing. I don't think it's fully there.
But again, there's not really a controversy because you're not going to sit Brock Purdy on the bench making that kind of money.
If he plays bad, you are.
Well, then that's a massive imprint on the front office for the San Francisco 49ers.
If he plays bad. Which, when healthy, he has not played bad.
But you already said last week that there should be a QB controversy.
How could there not be? Mac Jones is 3-0 and he's playing amazing. How could there not be?
I agree with you. Mac Jones might be a better quarterback.
By the way, if Patrick Mahomes tweaked an ankle and went down and Gardner Minshew goes out and puts up back-to-back huge games.
Please do not compare Patrick Mahomes to Brock Purdy.
I'm just saying, like, that's the situation. If Gardner Minshew goes out and is an absolute stud, puts the team on his back, all of a sudden you're like, hey, should this be the guy?
No. You don't do that to a 3-time Super Bowl champion. To a guy who people had major questions about, then you bring in a first-round pick. We've already seen what Gardner Minshew is a starting quarterback. We've seen Mac Jones as a quarterback of a terrible Patriots offense. Now he has a legit offense. We've tried to tell you for years, Kyle Shanahan is an excellent head coach. He is a system-placed quarterback that makes quarterbacks look better than they are. So there can't be a QB controversy.
I think we're kind of arguing the exact same point here.
I'm like, there's no QB controversy because you can't put Brock Purdy on the bench because you already paid him.
Unless he comes in and sucks, then you can absolutely put him on the bench. That's next.
Crazy. Top two in odds for the MVP, Baker or Dak. Who would you rather start a team with?
Right now, it has to be Baker. Are they similar in age, by the way? I think they are kind of similar, in age. Dak is barely older, but I think it would have to be Baker at this point. Dak is just too injury prone, unfortunately, and they kind of give you a lot of the same. I have them as very similar quarterbacks. Baker's a little more fun for me to watch. I think Baker does a little bit better job of getting the fan base on your side. I would probably go Baker in this conversation because if he is younger, it's by a couple of years, and he's had less injury issues in his past.
See, I think this is very close. I think you could take a flyer on either. Baker Mayfield has certainly proved a lot of doubters wrong after he was good in the Browns. Only the Browns get rid of a quarterback, by the way, who finally won them a playoff game after all those years and dump him.
Baker is 2 years younger, by the way.
I got to go Dak Prescott. I really feel like what Dak Prescott has done with this guy, and this is not a shot to Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield's playing excellent football right now. But Baker Mayfield, to be fair to Baker Mayfield, has a Emeka Egbuka, looks like a new superstar. You got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin, came back from injury, an excellent left tackle. You're looking at the Cowboys. This guy was Dak Prescott. Take the injury concerns away, which I think is a valid point about he is very injury prone, so that I have to play into it. But 2 years ago, this guy was one of the front runners for the MVP conversation. Micah Parsons gets traded. Everyone tells Dallas about how terrible they are. They're going to finish fourth in the division, maybe the Giants. He's putting this team on his back with CeeDee Lamb out. George Pickens, he's making a number one receiver, something no one in Pittsburgh could do. I think Dak Prescott is a very underrated quarterback, and I get people want to kind of crap on the Cowboys. I think he got too overrated at first because everyone wants to prop up the Cowboys quarterback, and now I think he's a little bit underrated.
Quick thought experiment. Who would you rather have trailing by 4 points, 2-minute drill?
Well, I guess this season what you're getting at is that they've won all their comebacks, Baker Mayfield.
Right. And I think over the course of a career, you look at Baker Mayfield in that situation, you feel a lot better about him than Dak Prescott in that same situation.
That's fair. But
I'm curious what Dak's number are in trailing by more than a field goal, final 2 minutes of the game.
I just think it has to be taken into account that Baker's supporting cast is much better than Dak's supporting cast.
Last week it wasn't. Last week everyone was hurt.
But CeeDee was hurt.
The CDs has been hurt for sure. And Dak's played very well with them gone as well. But like Baker's missing Mike Evans and his lead running back and still put out that performance. It's very close between these two quarterbacks. I like a lot of what Dak does as well. But I think in big situations, Baker has played better.
It is crazy seeing the resurrection of Baker Mayfield, like just in general. Like this guy was left for dead. And then that Rams game that our texter referenced earlier, when he came in on the short week and beat him on Thursday Night Football, like completely changed the outlook of his career. And is now a franchise quarterback.
I saw a thing today that was comparing last year's Vikings team that won a bunch of close games to this year's Bucs team and who's winning a bunch of close games and like how they could potentially be very, very similar by the end of the year. Plus, you got the storyline with the two quarterbacks. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Baker Mayfield's playing huge in close games. Sam Darnold did that a year ago.
Yeah. And the only reason, again, like Dak, like they don't have a running game. Whereas Bucky Irving and Rachaad White, like Rachaad White was a guy that everyone thought was going to pop at running back until they drafted Bucky Irving and he usurped him last year. Like what Dak Prescott's doing with that offense and the defense being awful is kind of impressive.
It is. It's real. Both of them have had very impressive starts. Is that 1 and 2 right now in MVP?
Yeah, they shot up. They're towards the top of MVP. I mean, you got your Josh Allens, your Mahomes, your guys like that.
It's crazy to me that Mahomes is still near the top of that list this year. If you just take this year.
But the Chiefs' record being 2-3 is not really due to Mahomes.
But it's still 2-3. That's what the part I just don't get.
But like if you look at Mahomes' stats, he's playing much better than he did last year.
I'd agree. And I think his run game's been an elite leading rusher on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. That is the run game for the Chiefs was awful outside of Monday night. Like that, I think that's why Mahomes is up there.
All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Coming up next, we got a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream. So 760, I hope you're listening. That's next, live on the iHeartRadio app. Do us a favor here. Download the free iHeartRadio app. Set us to your presets. When you're listening to San Diego Sports 760, it's easy to do. Just search San Diego Sports 760, and then you'll see a little plus button. Hit that button, and just like your car has presets where you hold down like the number 1 for 760, the free iHeartRadio app has that as well. So set us to your presets as well as the podcast, the Fletch Zone. You can find it all on the free iHeartRadio app and use it. Believe it or not, Sammy and I get graded on how many of you add us to your presets. So the more you do, the better.
Yeah, it's great. And then we have a meeting with our bosses, and then we look really good.
And then they tell us, oh my God, Fletch and Sammy, here is $1 million because you guys are so good at this.
And they're like, oh my God, Fletch and Sammy, you're carrying the entire cluster right now.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe we're so grateful to have you.
And by the way, when you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, every once in a while, we're just giving out $1,000. So keep listening for that. Your next chance to get $1,000 coming up at 2:00. Just listen for the keyword. Take it on over to sportssd.com. Enter it there. Boom. You could win $1,000 and that's all coming out of Sammy's paycheck too. Very generous.
Hell
of him.
no.
Very generous of Sammy to say, you know what? Every week, 13 times per day, you could just take it out of my paycheck.
That's Vegas trip money.
So it's not coming out of your paycheck?
No, because
where's it coming from then?
I had 3 Vegas trips in 3 months, so I don't have the kind of money to be giving out $1,000 every day.
All right, couple of these texts before we get to a topic in Major League Baseball from the 858. Raiders or Titans are both fighting for the first overall pick. This goes back to our conversation about the New Orleans Saints. 858's also saying that the Saints will be trading back in the first round to get wide receiver or D-line help. Because Spencer Rattler is so good.
Spencer Rattler will not be the starting quarterback next year.
Look, 858, you might need to have a serious look in the mirror. You might just need to have a conversation about yourself and understand Spencer Rattler might not be that dude. He's fun. He's got a really cool name. Maybe the coolest name in all the NFL right now.
You've seen him in that quarterback show, how much of a a-hole he is?
But all I'm saying is Spencer Rattler might not be the franchise quarterback. And he doesn't have the coolest name in the NFL because there's a wide receiver by the name of Booty.
Kayshon Boutte.
Patriots, right?
Yeah. Number 2 receiver behind
Pretty
Stephon
good.
Diggs.
He's really
very
good.
He's at LSU.
And his name's Booty, which automatically makes him cooler. Imagine being the guy who puts his Hall of Fame bust in. How tempted are you to not make it a face shot? That's all I'm saying.
What? You just said some crazy stuff right there.
San Diego Sports 760. All right, Major League Baseball. We got 8 teams left right now. Who would make the most compelling Final Four? Truth of the matter is, Major League Baseball really cares about who their Final Four is going to be. My truth of the matter, there's only one team I really want to see advancing, and that is the Seattle Mariners. I would like to see the Seattle Mariners make it all the way to the World Series because I like history, and the Seattle Mariners are the only team left in Major League Baseball who has never even appeared in a World Series. They seem to have the team who can do it. They're up 2-0 right now, by the way. If they win today, they are moving on to the ALCS. Mariners are a very fun team with a very rootable superstar in Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. Bring it on, I guess. Mariners, let's see what you got. I'd like to see your first World Series in franchise history.
The top 4, including ratings, if like the MLB had its pick.
Yankees, Dodgers have to be there.
It'd be Yankees against the Mariners because the Mariners bring the
entire Northwest.
Entire Northwest. They haven't won before. That would kind of be everyone's team. That if your team is knocked out, like people aren't rooting for the Dodgers unless you're a Dodgers fan. You're not rooting for the Dodgers. If you're not a Yankee fan, you're not rooting for the Yankees. But the Dodgers and the Yankees bring in massive numbers. Hell, the Dodgers got a whole damn country behind them that brings in ratings. So they want the Dodgers there. And then this isn't probably going to happen because they're down 0-2, but the Cubs would sell. People obviously like a Cubs Mariners World Series, I think could have drawn very well because you kind of have, despite the Cubs winning in 2016, 2 teams that and the Mariners have never won and the Cubs who have historically not won very much. But I wonder how a Dodger-Yankee rematch would sell because the Dodgers
Huge,
really
massive, monstrous, the best thing Major League Baseball could hope for in terms of ratings. That would be their ideal. I don't know if it's going to happen. Look, the Brewers look fantastic right now. And I think that sometimes we do discount the Milwaukee area. My wife's entire family is from out there in Wisconsin. They got a lot of fans. Of course, it's not going to be the numbers that a Yankees-Dodgers thing will put up, but can either the Phillies or the Dodgers actually beat the Brewers? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that one.
I mean, the Dodgers look like the best team in baseball right now. The Phillies are, I don't know if it's the Dodger pitching staff that's making them look so bad, but the top 3 of the lineup has not produced. And that's why I think they're number 2 in World Series odds to the Dodgers. It's Schwarber's 0 for 20 his last 20 at bats. Harper came through on a set. Like, they have not produced. And the funny thing is Ohtani hasn't really produced in the series for the Dodgers either. It's been down the order. Your Teoscar Hernandez which is why they're winning. But anything the MLB does not want is Brewers Blue Jays.
Yeah.
That is a rough rating series.
Yeah. People forget it's even going to be happening.
That's not going to draw very well.
That's talking like 1 million people per game. That would be disaster. DEFCON 1 for Major League Baseball. All right. The YouTube chat is filled up with fantasy football questions. Our text line is filled up with fantasy football questions. If you want to try to sneak a couple more in, at San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube, 70470, start your message with team on the text line. Text us. 70470. Start your message with team. Thank you, Sammy. We needed that. Stan Lazinski, our fantasy football expert, is next. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Wait.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The Mariners currently up 3-0 in the top of the 5th inning against the Tigers later on today. All the 3 games will be on. The Cubs will be hosting the Brewers, looking to stay alive. The Yankees, after getting a big 3-run home run from Aaron Judge last night and a solo shot from Jazz Chisholm, be looking to stay alive against the Blue Jays. And the Dodgers will be looking to close out the Phillies on the night game at 6 o'clock. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt, and Trex decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, the official partner of the NFL.
San Diego Sports 760. It's the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. Always appreciative of Stan Lazinski's time, our fantasy football expert, dynastypricecheck.com, at dynastypricecheck on TikTok and Instagram, as well as YouTube. But extra appreciative today because Stan from Seattle is, I'm sure, watching this baseball game right now between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers, also taking some victory laps right now as the Mariners are up 3-0. Stan, I don't even know if this is true. Are you a big Mariners fan?
You know, I'm not the biggest Mariners fan. I'll be completely honest here. You know, it's hard to follow a team that's been complete cheeks for, damn near my entire life. But at the same time, I will admit that I've fully hopped on the bandwagon. The jersey's been off the hanger, and I have been watching. This is an exciting time for us Mariners fans.
Well, you got superstars now with Rodriguez and the big dumper, so it's fun to watch. I mean, I'm pulling for the Mariners the rest of the way this year after the Padres got knocked out. All right, Stan, we bring you on here for your fantasy football expertise, not for baseball takes. So let's just jump right into it. From the 619, who do I start this week? Stan, quarterback, Stafford and Mayfield.
Oof. It's a tough decision between those two because both of them have been absolutely eating. And I've been super impressed with Matthew Stafford's performance this year. After the worries of the back injury early on, he comes out on Thursday Night Football last week, throws 30 passes on 47 attempts for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Stafford's hard to bench at this point. But with all that being said, I think Baker Mayfield is the current front runner for the MVP. And he's getting it done not only in the air, but on the ground. Loves to scramble. I love what I'm seeing out of Baker. I think we're gassing him up every single week here.
615 is asking if full PPR, Bo Nix or Daniel Jones.
I'm going to lean Danny Dimes here, and I can't believe I'm still riding the Daniel Jones train, but he's been looking very productive, has been super efficient in the passing game. And the statistic I think that's most important, that's really interesting about Daniel Jones, is that he's actually 3rd in the league on rushing attempts near the goal line, only behind Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, 2 guys that get more QB sneak touchdowns than anybody else in fantasy football. So at that number 3 spot, I'll take Daniel Jones.
Stan Lazinski, dynastypricecheck.com, Dynasty Price Check, anywhere on social media. You can find him as well. 858 texting in saying, I need to start one running back in full PPR, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Charbonnet, or Kenneth Gainwell.
Oof. I don't like those options. I think I'm going to tell you that you're safe. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like them. But I will say your safest option at this point is to be playing Zach Charbonnet. And I know you're hearing me out here saying, oh, this Seattle guy is repping his team. Well, I think it's just statement at this point that Zach Charbonnet has started and been healthy for 3 games this NFL season, week 1, week 4, and week 5. In each of those games, he has a rushing touchdown. And in the Arizona game, he should have had 2. So I think just as a safety play, you're guaranteeing yourself about a 10-point floor by starting Sharps.
858 wants to know, are you going Caleb Williams or Drake May this week?
I'm going to be riding the Drake May train. And I know Caleb Williams has also had some great upside here, but I do like Drake May's matchup against the New Orleans Saints, who quite frankly is struggling all across the board. Not to mention after a fantastic win against Buffalo this week, I think the Patriots are really starting to gear up on offense. We saw Stephon Diggs truly break out, and Drake May seems to be getting comfortable back there.
Stan Lazinski joining us, our fantasy football expert. Stan, 760, wondering if Kendrick Bourne was a flash in the pan or if he has sustainability as a wide receiver in your fantasy lineup.
Yeah, I think more or less a flash in the pan. This is all going to come down to the 49ers injury designations, right? If we get the green light on Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings, then that's going to entirely change the outlook of Kendrick Bourne's upside. However, if they're both out again, I think you got to gas Kendrick Bourne up at least as a significant flex option this week.
All right, this one's kind of long, so if you need me to repeat it, I will. 12-team full PPR. Wide receivers are Jay Jettas, who's on a bye, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Trey Tucker, Jawan Jennings. He says, who the F do I start this week, and should I target anyone specifically on waivers?
Yeah, do me a favor. Read me the wide receivers one more time. I caught Trey Tucker.
Yeah, all right. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Trey Tucker, Jawan Jennings.
I think, unfortunately, out of those options there, I don't even know if Terry's getting the full green light yet. They haven't given us the go-ahead. So from that perspective, I think you've got to just roll with DJ Moore here, at least against a Washington team that has allowed some close games. You remember the Packers putting up over 30 points on them a couple weeks ago with Tucker Kraft. So I think from that point of view, you got to be safe and just play DJ Moore. But not gonna lie, there's some rough options out there for some of these folks sustaining injuries.
All right, let's close up the text line here, Stan. We're going over to the YouTube chat. The Hound House is asking, should I trade Puka Nacua for Jamar Chase?
I am gonna say no. I know Jamar Chase. He's got the name value. It's tempting. A lot of you took him 101 overall. He looked like he got some resurgence at the end of last week. And now with the Joe Flacco trade coming through, people are excited again. But guys, Puka Nacua is averaging over 26 fantasy points per game. He is breaking every single record that I am familiar with, and it is absolutely incredible. So you would have to trade me your entire roster to get me to move Puka off my team at this point.
Does that change if it's Dynasty, Stan? If this is a team you're having year over year?
If it's Dynasty, I would take the Jamar Chase side.
All right. If you're this one, I guess could be answered if Purdy plays. Would you rather go Purdy this week, or would you go Rodgers playing the Browns?
No, I'm gonna take Purdy here. I although I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan out here, I'm a Brock Purdy stan. You know, he seems to always get it done out here. I really like his efficiency. Not to mention he's also overlooked in the rushing game. He whips out a couple good scrambles every game. And he's got some good upside. He's actually averaging 6.5 yards per carry when he takes off for a little scramble, giving you some rushing upside. Not to mention he's hit over 20 points in both of his fantasy outings of the season when he's been healthy. I think if Brock Purdy gets the go-ahead, he's a locked and loaded yes to a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that just gave up 35 points to the Seattle Seahawks this last week. Their defense is porous.
Aiden on YouTube saying, I have a trade offer sitting in my inbox right now. I would get Derrick Henry, but I would give away Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt, and Chase Brown. Would you do that for Derrick Henry?
Oof, I'm not going to lie. I'm very nervous about Derrick Henry because I think if the Rams beat the Ravens this week, then which is highly likely, they might just pack up that team for the year at 1-5 going into the bye and not risk Henry any longer. However, all the risk understanding, yes, I would do that deal. I think any chance you have a opportunity to buy a Derrick Henry for a less price than where you drafted him, probably in the first round, this is where you swing. It's still early.
So Joe Flacco, obviously starting quarterback for the Bengals now. Who upgrades the most out of Chase Higgins or Chase Brown with that, or is it still a flaming pile of crap?
I think if anything, I think Chase Brown gets the biggest bump here. Ironically, just watching what Joe Flacco did the early weeks with Dylan Sampson, somebody who, sounds like ancient history now, but, at the time, everybody was losing their mind over because of all the dump-off receptions that they were given to running backs. I do think Joe Flacco is not afraid to check it down in the intermediates and give some PPR upside back into Chase Brown owners' life here.
All right, Stan Lazinski, our fantasy football expert. You can find him at dynastypricecheck.com as well as Dynasty Price Check on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Stan, where are we going on the waiver wire this week? Anybody here on a Wednesday that you could pick up before Thursday matchups?
Yeah, the waiver wire is looking pretty slim. I think the only place you're looking is in that Chargers backfield. If you somehow lost Amari and Hampton this week and are struggling, it's between Haskins and Vidal. Personally, I lean the Kamani Vidal side, both in the limited touches he had last week, only 5 opportunities after the injury. He did average 4.5 yards per carry. Not to mention they do get a great matchup this week against Miami, who gave up 234 scrimmage yards and a touchdown to Rico Dowdle last week, as you guys probably watched that explosion occur. I will say that he has a favorable matchup here. So that's probably your best bet to go to. Outside of that, man, if Mason Taylor, tight end for the New York Jets, is still on your waiver wire, it is time to go for him. 12 targets, 9 receptions, 67 yards, ran 85% of the routes last week. He is looking like a guy that needs to be rostered in all formats.
Do you think Bo Nix is an every week starter after their win in Philly, or do you still think they're figuring out the offense?
I think I'm willing to give my go-ahead on Bo Nix here. Obviously, the first couple weeks were a bit of a warm-up, but I think the real sell point for me is that Bo Nix finds himself in an extremely favorable schedule these next 5 weeks. He gets to play against the Jets this week, which we all know is a dumpster fire, followed by the New York Giants, who are allowing tons and tons of yards in man coverage. And then right afterwards, you've got the 32nd ranked overall passing defense in the league, allowing a 12-1 touchdown to interception ratio in the Dallas Cowboys. So I would say the next 3 weeks, you're comfortably playing Bo Nix.
Got a DM from our buddy Aaron Stan. He's saying, I am in a dynasty league. Not sure if I can get him, but should I trade the farm to go get Emeka Egbuka out of Tampa?
Oof. I mean, it's a tough one to determine, right? Because as we talk about guys that are almost untradeable at this point, like Puka Nacua earlier, I mean, Egbuka comes out this week, 7 targets, 7 receptions, has a perfect catch rate. He's wide receiver 3 overall. He's third in all-time fantasy points through the first 5 weeks, only behind Randy Moss and Puka Nacua during his record-breaking rookie year. So I think if you can afford to go buy him, I don't hate taking the swing on it. I will caution you, though. Mike Evans is going to come back. Chris Godwin's still working back from injury. Even a guy who I really liked out of University of Washington last year, Jalen McMillan, is going to be coming back from his neck injury after week 7. And so I do think that there is so much target competition in that offense. I don't have him finishing as wide receiver 3 where he is now. I have him finishing a lot closer to wide receiver 10 or 11 on the season. Still fantastic metrics. However, I'm still skeptical of maintaining this level of production.
All right. Questions from the 858-619-760. Everybody that we didn't get to today, you can find Stan tonight. What time are you going live, Stan?
We're gonna do a raid right now. If everyone wants to hop on over to TikTok right after the show at 2:00, we're gonna do an afternoon session today.
How about that? 2:00. Stan Lazinski. Find him at Dynasty Price Check on TikTok. DynastyPriceCheck.com is where you find him. Go pay Stan a bunch of money. That's what we want to see here.
Hell yeah.
On Sid. We want Stan to be rich. Thank you, brother. Appreciate your time.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys, man. Looking forward to next week.
Stan
Take care,
Lazinski.
everybody.
DynastyPriceCheck.com is where you go check him out. Again, go make him rich. That would be fun. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Final break here. We did not give away those Hollow Scream SeaWorld tickets. I apologize. That is 100% my fault. I tried to say wait, and Sammy pushed the button anyways. Let's give them away right now. 877-767-4760, a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Howl-O Scream. This year, new horrors have awakened. 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, the shrills of coasters after dark, select nights now through November 1st. Get your tickets now at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. Phone line's already lit up. Pick one, Sammy. Call number 7. You're going to SeaWorld. Howl-O Scream. How about old Greg? Mr. Gregory winning some SeaWorld tickets. Congratulations.
Gregory.
Was he the man from the 760 who wanted him?
I don't believe so because he mentioned. No, I don't believe it was him.
Well, 760, guess what? Tomorrow, Friday, our show, John and Jim, more chances for you to win a 4-pack of tickets to How Low Scream at SeaWorld.
He's got a big date Saturday night, or she's got a big date Saturday night.
Ooh, good luck,
How Low
man.
Scream.
Dating, what's that like? Sammy, do you know?
Trying, man.
This is about going to do it for us today. How about coming back with some Drake right before Toronto plays in a pivotal game 4 a little bit later?
760 says that. Oh, real quick, the guy who won a date night, caller number 6.
Damn.
Caller number 6, you missed by 1. Gregory's going to the thing. 760. You got in. You were 1 away.
Or call Gregory. He has 3 extra tickets.
Yeah, maybe Gregory can sell his.
You might be able to convince him. Gregory, seriously, thank you for listening to the show.
Yeah,
760. We appreciate you too, man. Text line, you guys have been awesome today. YouTube chat, you as well. 615, we'll kind of close this thing out with this. 615 texting and say Milwaukee versus Toronto might not be as bad as you think for a World Series in ratings. Heartland of America versus Canada might drop better than you think. That's the way it would have to be sold, right? This is Team USA versus Canada.
I think 615. I get what you're saying. I think the Brewers is the part that doesn't sell. I think Toronto actually will have a whole country behind it.
Right, but I don't think, I could be wrong on this. This was a problem a few years ago. I don't think it was when the Raptors were in the NBA Finals
against the Warriors.
I don't think that ratings going to. There's some distinction between America, US TV ratings and Canadian TV ratings. Like, I think it gets broadcasted differently. I'm not positive on this. Again, the number is the number, but I don't think they count the same if they're north of the border.
Oh, okay. Well, still though, I think like look at the Four Nations face-off. Speaking of hockey being back, that was a big deal. Canada played the US. Now, obviously these aren't national teams, but I think what you would need is a Dodgers, a Phillies, a Cubs to be the team from the NL that's playing them, because I think Milwaukee is the team with the lead. Like, I just find it hard that a kid from Miami is going to care about Blue Jays Brewers.
Probably not, but will a kid from Milwaukee care about Yankees? You know, it just kind of gets confusing.
But the thing with the Dodgers, though, is that people are going to tune in to hate watch.
Right.
It's like if the Yankees are in it, like you're going to have, first off, if the Dodgers are in it, you're going to have every Giants fan, every Padre fan, every Rocky fan, every Diamondback fan tuning in because they want to see the Dodgers lose.
If it's Yankees Dodgers, Colin Cowherd's spending 3 hours a day talking about it.
Right. And the Yankees are the same thing. On the other end is every Red Sox fan is going to be tuning in, rooting for the Dodgers or whoever, because they want them to loot. Like when you have big brands, it's like the Cowboys. Cowboys can play Sunday Night Football every week, or the Lakers, because if you're not a Laker fan, you probably don't like the Lakers. If you're not a Cowboy fan, you probably don't like the Cowboys. So you need a big brand in there. But I see what you're saying with the whole Canada USA thing could sell a little bit.
That's what it would have to be sold as. And the good thing about the Brewers is nobody hates the Brewers. Like you're not looking out around the country seeing, oh man, the stupid Brewers. I think everyone could root for them, especially if they're going against the Blue Jays.
I think that's what goes against them, though, is that they don't have that stigma of you either like them or love them.
Yeah, maybe. By the way, this Detroit-Seattle series just got far more interesting. It looked like Seattle was kind of running away with this thing. They were up 3-0. Detroit was getting nothing going on the base paths, and then all of a sudden, Detroit had a huge fifth inning, and it's tied up 3-3.
And this game right now, if it goes to Saturday, now Mariners have beat Scooball the last 3 times.
Yeah.
But that's probably not the best to be going up against Scooball in a game 5 with the best pitcher in baseball. So a lot on this game for the M's.
A lot on it. All right, John and Jim are coming up next. 760. Seriously, you don't have to wait for tomorrow on our show to win SeaWorld tickets. You can win them with John and Jim coming up in just a little bit.
You could text in to John and Jim and say, hey, I got a date Saturday night. I really want these tickets. And I'm sure Jim Russell will be empathetic and just really with you and wanting to make sure you get your tickets.
I mean, the rules of the contest are it has to be caller number 7 or predetermined caller. You know, it's not like Jim can just choose, but 760, you got a pretty good chance if you just keep on listening right here on 760.
Call on back tomorrow.
Before we let you go, our bosses are putting pressure on us. Add us to your presets, please. If you like this show, if you want us to continue as a show, go on the free iHeartRadio app, search San Diego Sports 760, hit that little plus button. Add us to your preset. So every day at noon.
Right. Then your thumbs don't get tired searching us up. It's right there.
It's right there on the app.
Easy for you.
Set us to number 1. We would love it. We're out. John and Jim next. See you tomorrow.